Now, along those lines, so as you went through college, I didn't know that you were a fashion major. So that's the creative aspect that I'm sure you loved through college. Now, after that, you said when you started to wanting to travel, and then I think you said you were in Australia for a little bit and then Taiwan. So how long were you overseas?
I spent, I think, a total of 4 years
Okay.
overseas. I was in Australia for 9 months. I
Okay.
was only supposed to be there for 7.
Okay.
So I had a little bit of an issue there coming back. But
Okay.
I was having a lot of fun over there. So I stayed a little bit longer than I was supposed to. So they told me I couldn't come back. They were like, you can't come back for 3 years because you've overstayed your visa.
Got it. Got it.
So,
Okay.
but
And then,
yeah, then I came home for a few months, or
okay.
no, about 6 months, and then I moved to Taiwan.
Got it. So when you moved to Taiwan and then you started dancing again, how is dance similar or different in different areas of the world? Like, is it a common language that even though we can't physically communicate maybe as well in, verbal language, is learning dance in other areas of the world, is that something that's pretty universal?
Gosh, I don't know. I think it is a different language everywhere you go. Ballet is pretty similar, I guess, in different places. I didn't take a lot of classes over there when I was in Taiwan, though. I kind of just learned on my own, and,
Got it.
you know, I would turn on YouTube and do things like that. I did take one ballet class there. It was very similar to the classes I'd taken in high school, but I would say other styles, though, there definitely is yeah, there's a language to every style, every culture, the styles that are created within each culture has its own language. In fact, when I came back to Kansas City, I became part of an East Indian dance company and I danced with them for 3 years. And my dance background I mean, she wouldn't accept anyone in the company who didn't have a dance background, but that was a whole new thing. And my dance background helped with that. It gave me the skills to learn that style, but it was completely different. And she had to train me to move differently. I was able to learn those styles and those different movements because of my training,
Mhm.
but it was a whole new realm for me of movement. So
Movements.
yeah.
In Taiwan, did you get to dance with other people even though you didn't take classes? Or did you even teach dance at all?
I didn't teach dance
Okay.
in Taiwan, but I danced on stage with other dancers. Granted, it was a little bit easier there to get jobs because I was a foreigner and they were kind of seeking people,
Mhm.
they liked to hire people with like blonde hair and you know kind of just looked like the Hollywood type people. So I guess I got kind of lucky there, but it was still fun to get these performances and be dancing on stage and getting paid to do what I did my whole life.
That's right. You did mention that you were getting hired to do dance in some performances. What were some of those performances? Like what style, or were they like what types of performances, I guess?
The first one I did was samba. It's
Okay.
funny that I learned how to samba dance in Taiwan, but that was my first performance. So we danced. There was a samba performance company in Taipei,
Mhm.
and so I danced with them. And we would dance for like big company shows, like some big corporate events that companies would put on. They would hire performers, and so that's what we did, was dance for. And actually, I think that was most of the gigs I did were for big company events where they would have performers and we would come on stage. Another one was kind of a jazz number where we were in high heels and we had some props and we're, just kind of dancing around. It was like a flashy kind of Shakira sort of.
Yeah.
style.
Yes. That is interesting. So how long did you do that for, performing dance in Taiwan?
I'd say a couple years. The
Okay.
last 2 years, the first year I was there, I kind of just spent retraining myself and
Mhm.
just dancing on my own. And then the second 2 years I was there is when I started performing again.
And what made you decide to come back home, I guess, to the US?
Oh gosh. Well, if you've ever taught classrooms full of children,
Yes.
which you probably have, I don't know. That's, I love kids. I'm a mom. I have a kid. I have a little girl, but gosh, it just wore me out. Teaching teaching classrooms of children for 6 hours a day, even
What
in
age group were, what level?
I taught 2 hours a day of kindergarten,
Okay.
and then I jumped around from classroom to classroom teaching first grade, fourth
Mhm.
grade, sixth grade.
Got it.
And it was great. I loved my job.
Mhm.
I just felt like after 3 years, I thought, I think I'm ready to. I knew teaching school, I knew it wasn't gonna be what I did. It was,
Mhm.
I thought I should probably find, pave my path, start paving the path that is more long term,
Mhm.
focusing on something more long term, and I was just kind of also the pollution. So I had a really rich experience in
Mhm.
Taiwan. I still consider it's like my home away from home still, but I just found myself, there was a flip side of that, of just feeling kind of exhausted there. And I think it was the mixture of teaching children and also the pollution there was kind of extreme. I lived in the mountains,
Okay.
but I had a commute every day on my scooter to
Okay.
work. It was about a 30-minute commute. And so I was driving in heavy, smoggy
Yeah.
traffic. So I think I just was ready to have a little bit of a different lifestyle. And so, yeah, I came back and I started teaching dance when I came back. And
Okay.
that's when I got into Pilates too.